Hello once again. This wasn't originally going to be a video, but Verlisify decided to upload a pretty cringe-ass video, so this is why I'm here to commentate over it and tell Verlisify he's a fucking idiot for the 100th time. Let's go!
Faker Koo is back on his BS, and the Pokemon community of weirdos is going wild because their precious Generation 5 games are going to be getting remakes, and they don't have the comprehension skills to understand that 5 comes after 4.
Let me remind you guys, this is a guy that said, I'm so hate-filled. I am very hate-filled that I can't help suicidal people, even though I do that a lot. I help a bunch of suicidal people in my friend group. You know, remember this? Yeah, I remember that. That is going to stay for a long time. And not to mention, this is the same guy that called somebody a pedophile because he got angry. He got angry, so his only thing to say is that the person he was angry at is to call them a pedophile. And also, same guy, by the way, retweeted an anti-trans joke that had a dead body in it. And also he has a lot of anti-trans tweets that are now deleted. But luckily there are some my friends saved on the Wayback Machine. Go follow, let me get out his Twitter one second. Go follow Gardevoir Fucking, because they have the transphobic tweets and screenshots, fellas. And also you can find the links and use them on the Wayback Machine. Yes, this did happen. He did call a random person a pedophile because he got angry. He got angry, so he had to call someone a pedophile because he was angry. Ooh, poor Verlisify. Yeah, he's touching the line where I want to say something I cannot take back. He's going to the line where I actually want him to jump off a bridge. Let's just say that.
The greatest, most honest article ever written about Pokemon. So Pokemon Black and White, directors Junichi Masuda and Ken Sugimori wanted to be especially radical. And that's where we're already getting into, like, the issues with Pokemon Black and White, because why take something that so many people already love, that's already incredibly successful, and soft reboot it?
Yeah, this guy is stupid if he's asking this question. Why did your Pokemon series reboot? Almost like Nintendo did a reboot a few years before and it gave them a lot of fucking money. Ever thought of that? They rebooted the Mario Bros. Series into New Super Mario Bros. And that gave them a fuck ton of money. Asking this question, knowing they're owned by the same company, is me asking why is the sky blue? You're a fucking idiot.
Generation 5. So that's like another weird thing where it's all these like nonsense arguments that just don't line up with reality when people are like, well, Generation 5 is like more mature and adult with the story and actually finally cares about the adults. And then Gen Whiners, which I call Generation 5 fans, which is also really interesting because I was on to Zoomers being terrible long before anyone else, and I was
Damn, Verlisify really be trying to steal Lucas Warner's clout. Wow, Verlisify, I can't believe you. You're stealing the handsomest man on all Earth. Just kidding. This guy is fucking weird. Anyways, yeah, he did the Zoomer thing first, so, Verlisify, you're late, buddy. You're fucking late. You're dumb.
seeing this happen through Pokemon because it was always complete nonsense. Saying that, like, oh, you can't defend Pokemon Red and Blue because all the glitches, and it didn't even have a story, even though it had the most hardcore story in Pokemon. We have a Yakuza mob boss using a gambling parlor as a front for a Pokemon smuggling operation where things get crazy and Pokemon are killed in the process. Yeah, there's a story to Generation 1, and if you don't think so, you are objectively wrong.
I really feel like you meet right in Gen 1 here. Because Gen 1 is not as crazy as it sounds. Gen 1 is okay with the story. It doesn't really do much with the story, I'm gonna be honest. Gen 5, on the other hand, I can go all day on. Believe me, I can definitely explain Gen 5 in a very exciting way.
And if you're using it as a crutch to be like, yeah, but in it's so deep, guys, then you're just wrong. And that's also like where we can see the destruction of Pokemon, that it's also in the terrible story. There's no real depth to In or his story, it's just a special child trope. So I guess if like you're a Zoomer and this is your first experience with storytelling, you might think like, wow, this is crazy. And Team Plasma goes against everything Pokemon. People are like, but it challenges you to make you think about what it means to be a Pokemon trainer and if it's right or not. No, everything about Pokemon is love for your Pokemon, appreciation for your Pokemon, the bond between a trainer and their Pokemon. That should never be brought into question, and it should never be considered for even half of a second if you're an actual Pokemon fan, or if you're trying to hold true to the core values of Pokemon. We've effectively already had this with the rivals and other bad guys. Silver doesn't care for his Pokemon, therefore you mop the floor with him, and you get him to consider that Pokemon are not tools, and caring for your Pokemon is what gives you both strength. Like, again, it goes against everything in Pokemon, which is why the Generation 5 story is so garbage.
Wow, the grown adult that likes playing Pokemon doesn't know why Pokemon Gen 5 is great for doing that type of storytelling. Blows my mind, this fucker is 30 years old, by the way. Yes, he is actually 30 years old, according to a bunch of sources that I have. Anyways, why do I think this is good storytelling? Because if you're making a game that is made for mature adults, you're going to want to make them question shit. You're going to want to make them question if they're doing the right thing by defeating Team Plasma. Which is a cult, by the way. Yeah, Team Plasma is pretty much a cult. Anyways, yeah, you want to question the player's morals. Well, you're, traveling the world. Make the player question, is it right to liberate Pokemon? Is it wrong to be a Pokemon trainer? All that type of shit. For this game, yeah, you question everything pretty much. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the wrong side of history? All that jazz. Of course, the man baby doesn't know what decent storytelling is. If you played Undertale, it's nearly the same. You're just questioning, am I doing the right thing by killing all these monsters? Am I doing the right thing doing what I do? Essentially. But some people like Verlisify doesn't get why making the player question their morals is more mature. Like, dude, you can barely get the simple premise or the simple things even right. Like, goddamn, Giovanni is not that good of a Pokemon villain. Let's be real.
We're having too much trouble completing the main story of the game, and they usually ended up giving up. This is the most mind-blowing part of the interview, and it's crazy to see how it keeps on holding up. Not only since the last time I talked about this article, but going back to 2010. This was a major discussion in gaming, that games are getting easier and too easy, tutorials are too handholdy, there's too many forgiveness mechanics compared to back in the 90s, back in the day, where games were harder, platformers were tough, and you had to figure it out yourself, but the everyone gets a trophy generation became weak and entitled, and just wanted everything for nothing. And those kids later became known as Zoomers. That is why Pokémon Black and White is so terrible. It is the Zoomer Pokémon game that did not have enough respect for what came before it.
Is he complaining about Pokemon games being easy here, or what? Like, seriously, I don't know what the fuck is he complaining about. I'm gonna have to assume he's complaining about Pokemon games being easier. Because, I don't really know any other way to interpret this garbled mess, pretty much. So yeah, you're complaining about people thinking the new games are easier, while you're shaming them for being easier. Keep in mind, this is the guy that complained about people complaining about the XP share in the does, and the same person that complained about people wanting a difficulty selection in their games. Yeah, this is the same guy, by the way. Verlisify, you're not bright, are you, honey?
Another thing these subroom temp IQ kids can't understand is that Pokemon is a PvP game. It's about becoming the very best like no one ever was through beating up your friends with magical creatures like mice that shoot electricity and lizards that breathe fire. Okay, that's just a dragon, but you get my point. It's about becoming competitive. That is the goal of Pokemon, not playing the game and paying $60 for the story. If you're doing that, yeah, you're going to feel ripped off. You're going to feel like you don't have your value because you're only getting 5% of the game and then you're throwing away everything else because you're an idiot. Now there's this part.
Saying what you just said shows how much of a Pokemon fan you are not. Pokemon isn't just battle competitive, guys. No, it's about making fucking memories with your Pokemon. Making them your friends throughout the journey. That's what the manga, anime, and games literally tell you through their stories. If you don't get that through your head, you're really not a fucking Pokemon fan. And also, let's not mention the catching part, because that's literally in the fucking title of Pokemon. So yeah, shut up, you fake fan. Okay, here's the point he at least half-assed. I'm not going to play the video showing it, but pretty much his half-ass point, because the rest of the points in these videos are fucking dog shit, as usual. But anyways, the half-ass point is like, oh, the story is in your face. I mean, you should really expect that if Pokemon is trying to be more mature. That would mean a more heavy reliance on actual plot instead of, slight plot here and there. Like, I don't see why he's complaining about this, considering Diamond and Pearl were before these games, and that plot was kind of shoved in your face, I'm gonna be honest. And also Gen 2. And then there's Gen 3. Yeah, I don't know why he's not complaining about all the other Pokemon games doing it, but what the fuck ever. Anyways, yeah, I definitely see his point there, but if you're making, a story that questions morals and all that type of stuff, you should really expect something like this plot being in front of your face. That is kind of something you should expect with that type of story. I'm gonna be real here. But it's a Pokemon game. Yes, in books, you can read. So, yeah, I don't see why he's bitching about having a plot that is in front of your face. When Diamond and Pearl were literally a generation behind Black and White. Yeah, that's just kind of weird to complain about. Considering he doesn't complain about Diamond and Pearl's plot being in front of your face. Anyways. Yeah, this guy doesn't know Pokemon at all. Let's be realistic. He doesn't know jack shit. And also, another thing I want to say is Getsis will always be the best evil team leader. And you want to know why? Because he almost actually killed the main character. So yeah, Giovanni ain't shit. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.